Aloha, welcome back for another segment of the social media digital marketing career opportunities here. I wanted to run through another highly requested city, which is Dallas, Texas. And I wanted to walk through at least a good opportunity because as you can see here, there are over 18,200 positions available in the city alone. Many of them are remote or hybrid if you would prefer that, as well as some in-person opportunities as well. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity to have your work-life schedule be what you want it to be and what's going to be most conducive for you. This one's sticking out right here, 170K to 200 a year, paid media lead, and is a remote position. This is in Dallas, Texas. Let's see what else they have here. They have the digital marketing manager. Let's see, senior digital marketing content and analytics advisor, digital marketing manager, specialist digital marketing paid search, social media manager, another remote position here, digital marketing specialist paid search. As you can see, paid search is a big up there on the skill set in terms of like value. So you definitely want to have that in your Rolodex of your skill set, which we dive in deep within our program, because paid media buying is a strength of mine, and it is what I did for years, and it is very much in demand, and it will probably always remain that way. And so let me see here. I want to pick like a good one, web content writer. This is actually kind of cool too, a remote position. This is what I'm saying. There's so many opportunities. So like a content writer, if you prefer, again, copywriting is at the heart of kind of like what I do, because I used to be a copywriter and I still am. I always keep saying I used to be, but I still am. So again, there's so many opportunities to really leverage your skill set and stuff that you actually want to do and be profitable and like make your life easier. So this is a remote position. And then this is a remote position here too. Senior digital marketing channel manager. It's kind of cool. And then this one up here is a paid media lead. Let me just say this one here. I'll just choose this one because this is interesting, because it specifically says paid media lead. So 170K to 200K a year full time 2 days ago, and it's only received 23 applicants. So it's a software development company. They have about 50 to 200 employees. So it's a pretty decent size, but not too big to where you just become a number. So that's kind of good. Again, there's 23 applicants here, as you can probably see. They definitely need someone qualified for this position. So you say 1 out of 23, those are pretty good odds that you would be able to land this gig and have it obviously work within your life, because it's a remote position. So let's see what it's saying down here about us. STB Labs was founded in 2016 to empower analysts to create and disseminate organizational knowledge. Since then, we've grown to become one of the leading brands in the analytics industry. Our product, DBT, is used by thousands of companies. DTB Labs is a remote first. Okay, so that's something that they are a stronghold in. So you most likely, if you are a remote first person, this will be right up your alley. A values-driven company with a globally distributed team. You can learn more about our values here. So paid media at DBT Labs is a little bit different because teams don't adopt DBT overnight. It is a development framework that teams implement over time, rather than a tool that's purchased and deployed in one swoop. Okay, so it sounds like it's going to be a bit of a learning curve here, because I don't even know what DBT is, but it's saying that teams don't adopt it overnight, and it's something that you have to develop over time. So our paid media strategy must reflect this complexity and help others and teams move up the DBT usage ladder from brand awareness to enterprise adoption. Okay, so it sounds like how I said it, as software development. So it might be SaaS, SaaS, software as a service. It's sounding like that. So it's looking like it's a little bit of a complex software that their audience members need a lot of education about. And so they're not looking for it to be a super intensive, heavy DTC, direct to consumer, or direct response. I'm sorry, it's direct to consumer, but as opposed to B2B, it's not a direct response type of outcome they're looking for, which is great. So essentially, you can really be creative because a lot of brand awareness um, goes into building up with storytelling, building up audience connection, talking about a lot of things that can place, again, the audience members in their hero seat, and the DDT software would be the guide. So there's a lot of cool ways to kind of bridge the gap with um, your creative mind share, if you will, to use your paid media buying skill set to really drive brand awareness, because it sounds like this is some pretty complex software. So that's kind of cool. So the role exists to prioritize and orchestrate. It exists to parse from the wide array of offers that we could be producing for various audience segments at each stage of the journey, what we should be producing and when. So it sounds like, again, building up that brand awareness, building up that brand affinity, building up that brand cohesiveness, that highly visual storytelling aspect, where you're really going to be playing up a lot of the features and the benefits and how it's going to be a value add to the audience members' lives versus just trying to hurry up and get a quick sale. So that's a cool way to really get creative and dive in, with this type of project, this type of company. So why is prioritization so important? Because we serve a technical audience. Okay, so they definitely know their audience, which is great. So you're going to be working in the tech space. So it's something that's really lit you up or really lights you up. You definitely want to, this will definitely be a good opportunity to be able to do that because it's a technical audience. So content STB Labs produces for paid media must be technically authentic, and this of course is expensive in terms of time and people to produce. Okay, so they're very well aware of the level of investment, which is great because sometimes that cannot be something that people take into consideration. So that's a good thing. So they understand that they're talking to a highly technical audience, and they understand that because they're primarily in their brand awareness, probably educational space. Yes, it can be expensive to produce that type of content, because anytime you have to take someone from a completely cold position, when I say cold, I mean they don't know you, don't like you, don't trust you, and it's a lot of heavy technical stuff that's going on. So probably very analytical minds are going to be speaking to, and they said technically authentic. So authenticity is big for them, and they understand that in terms of time and people to produce, like the level of production value that this type of media and content will take, as well as, because again, the primary focal point being brand awareness and education, that's expensive because you're teaching a lot of people, and people have to see things multiple times before they even take the next step. So they're not going to be pressured. Basically, you're not going to be in a pressure cooker to hurry up and like put an ad together, put it up there, and make sure it's converting at like 2,000% type stuff. So that's kind of really good, that you have a lot of wiggle room to be creative and just being aligned with their desired outcomes, which they've, pretty much laid out right here. They also say we follow a hybrid model at DBT Labs and plan to, for the foreseeable future, this role will own paid media strategy, and execution of campaigns will be managed by an external agency partner. Okay, so it's a hybrid. So again, teamwork will be definitely something that you'll be honing in on as well, because your role will be owning the paid media strategy, but the execution of them will be managed by an external agency partner. So perfect. So you don't have to worry about the execution. Of course you do, because you have to understand, like, where is this content living? How is it showing up? And in terms of the analytics, like when things are in people's social feed, how are they interacting with it? But of course you don't have to worry about all of that, which is great. You'll have to know it. Obviously, you'll definitely have to couple it with your media strategy, your paid media strategy, but you have to, you'll be able to kind of rest with the execution of that, which is actually very rare. I've actually never, I won't say I've never, but I haven't seen this type of hybrid model in a while, which I think that's really, really great. And they're very vocal about that. So that's cool. In the future, this role will grow in responsibility as one generally does with paid media work. be taking on larger budgets. Of course, I knew that was coming on more channels. So they might be wanting to start off with Facebook or Instagram, and they may want to implement like Google or YouTube in the future, or vice versa, or a combination of the two. And then with more access to execution support. So that's kind of cool because you have the ability to pretty much start off with just the strategy, and then you'll be able to move forward with the execution and probably partnering with this external media agency, because it sounds like they definitely want to have this be a really good cohesive team effort. And so they definitely want everyone working on the same page and everything to be in alignment, but they also understand the roles and the responsibility and how this can be a lot of work. So they're not going to like overload you, which again, and they're paying very, very, very handsomely. So this is a great place, I can tell you, because I've seen in the past where some of these things can be so convoluted, some of these expectations and these but then they want to pay like not even like a percentage of what they're offering here. So this sounds like a really amazing opportunity for the right person who really is passionate about paid media. Again, in our program, we do offer extensive paid media and media buying training. So if this is something you really want to hone in on, I don't even want you to be worried about the experience here, because you think about it again, if you watch these other segments in the past, I'm telling you time and time again, you go in there with a great energy about you, a drive, the confidence, you're a go-getter, you're eager, you're a team player, you have an innovative mindset, you understand a lot of the nuance in terms of the complexities of the audience members that are on social these days. This is not the old days of 1970, 1980 advertising. I don't even think you need to be worried about having, 5 years experience. Like, you can literally have it all planned out right here or mapped out right here, exactly what you will be doing, which we cover extensively in our program. And so if you have the ability to understand all of this, I would not worry at all about this 2-year relationship, because again, stuff changes so fast. And as long as you understand, even like right here, they're saying are an omnivore, not a specialist. That tells you right there. They don't want you to necessarily just be so honed in on one little thing. They value nuance. They value you having an innovative mind. They value you having the ability to think quickly on your feet. They definitely value that you are how they set up here. What was that part? It said brand awareness, because you're understanding their usage ladder, and from brand awareness to enterprise adoption. And they understand that this is a very complex process, and they understand that it takes time. The fact that they understand that there is an expense and that can be costly in terms of time and people with production. And so if you understand that, I really feel like you would be more in position to really thrive in this place, in this position, versus focusing so much on like how many years of experience you have or have not had. And again, there's ways around it. There's ways that we have templates inside of our program that we'll walk through and teach, so you'll have it to understand, like, just to be able to demonstrate to an employer like this of like, hey, yeah, I know you said you wanted 2 years here, but let me just map out a quick strategy for you, and let's talk about what's most important for you in terms of your values and the positioning in the marketplace. And this is very, very, very telling that they definitely want you to be well versed, for you to have a depth about you and your character and your work ethic. Things like, again, the tangibles of managing ad budgets across platforms: Google, LinkedIn, Mediums, search, display, video. They said it here, of course, this will grow as well. This is a growing in responsibility. So they're talking about, of course, taking on larger budgets and adding more channels. But these are just some good channels to get familiar with right now. So Google, LinkedIn, search, display, video, all of which we, again, cover extensively within our program. You'll have an edge if you have these right here. Of course, we have edges and we have ways to be more competitive all across the board. These are things you can also dive into and kind of just research. You can Google these, because I love this here, though. I will say this here: have a nose for value. I love that. Given that the data industry is relatively new and niche relative to the software industry as a whole, we must be creative in finding opportunities to deploy ad budget. See, they value creativity. this is exactly what I was saying before when they set up here, like brand awareness to enterprise adoption and understanding the complexity of this type of software that they are rolling out to the marketplace. So they want someone who's creative and understands how to leverage their creativity as they're deploying this ad budget here. So again, very good compensation package and benefits are offering. Of course, we also do offer a negotiation bonus, so you will definitely be able to ensure you are compensated well. They're listing it here, but just nonetheless, even if a company doesn't list their pricing packages or their compensation models, you're always going to make sure that you're always going to be coming out on top. And it's kind of cool. They give you an expectation process of what to expect during the hiring process, which is great. So yeah, that's about it. I'll leave the rest to you. Someone did ask about getting these delivered to them. We do offer, I do offer a bonus where I actually do hand pick like the prime, most ripest fruit, if you will, in terms of position. So you're not wasting your time sifting through. Because obviously, going through 18,000 results, you can spend a pretty chunk of time that could be wasted, and you could end up applying for something that just might not be beneficial for you. And I don't want you to waste your time. Your time is valuable. And so I have decided to offer that as a bonus because that was something that I felt was a really big need, with people just not knowing like what opportunities should they actually be pursuing, what's actually worth it to them. So I will leave this here. Again, this is in Dallas, Texas, the digital marketing position in the paid media space. And so if you are looking to acquire the skill set, we encourage you to join our 4-part complimentary video series. It'll be linked in the description box, as well as visiting us online at socialmediamavenacademy.com. And I look forward to talking to you all very, very soon.